Hey, welcome to the Crypto Joe channel. I am Joe. I have here an article from Finance Feeds, and it is covering the Ripple SUR-Reply to the SEC's motion. So we're going to get into it. Definitely not financial advice. This is just entertainment and informational purposes. Let's get into it because it really does cover information, and we'll talk about it as we go. Ripple stands to win the battle over fair notice amid the SEC's backfire. The enforcement actions cited in the report do not actually support the SEC's argument in the first place, Ripple argued, which I don't believe they do either. I mean, the SEC is just going to look like a laughingstock, and I feel like the SEC understands that they have painted themselves into a corner. Let's read this. Ripple has filed its SUR-Reply regarding the SEC's motion to strike the fair notice affirmative defense to oppose, quote, the SEC's inappropriate request, unquote, for judicial notice and to address the SEC's misleading characterization of its prior enforcement actions. Yes, basically what the SEC is saying is that they have had 70-plus cases before this one, and that by virtue of Ripple being, I don't know, clairvoyant and mind readers, Ripple should have been able to look at all these other 70-plus cases the SEC brought before judiciary committees and sued, and most of them won or settled out of court, or settled in court, settled the case. And the SEC is saying Ripple should have seen that, well, all these other cases came forward, so you should have known without any guidance, without any fair notice, you should have just automatically known that what you were doing was wrong, that what you're doing was selling unregistered securities. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know very many actual clairvoyants. I really don't. If you know a clairvoyant, please comment in the section below. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but the SEC claiming that Ripple should have just automatically known what they were doing was wrong based upon the other cases. This is a precedent-setting case, which we will see here in just a minute. The SEC has previously asserted that Ripple's fair notice defense fails because prior to suing Ripple, the SEC had already brought more than 70 cases that subjected other digital assets to the application of the federal securities law. And they try to make it sound really onerous. Federal securities laws. Well, no, none of them are anything remotely like this case. And again, we'll get into that here in just a second. The agency also cited the May 2021 report by Cornerstone Research, distributed after Ripple filed its opposition brief, and requested the court to take judicial notice of the SEC complaints, which the report characterized as cryptocurrency enforcement actions. But they are painting an extremely broad brush across it. This case, the case with Ripple, is one of a kind. There has never been a case like this before that fits all the criteria here. This is the part on the 70-plus enforcement actions that Ripple has brought forth, but that they support Ripple, not the SEC. They absolutely do. In response, Ripple stated that a SUR-Reply is amply justified here, which it absolutely is. They are correct. They can use every defense at their disposal. In order to tackle the SEC's inappropriately premature request for this court to conclude as a factual matter that the market participants had fair notice that XRP would be considered a security, Ripple is basically saying, hey, we're filing saying that we don't believe that the SEC saying we should have automatically for some reason known that XRP was a security when the circumstances around XRP are totally different than any of the other cases that the SEC brought forth for enforcement. We're not mind readers. We couldn't possibly have known, and that the SEC is inappropriate in applying those actions to Ripple in the Ripple versus SEC case, which they're correct. The enforcement actions cited in the report do not actually support the SEC's argument in the first place, the Ripple counsel argued. adding that not one of those cases alleged a violation of Section 5's registration requirements for sale of digital assets outside the context of an ICO. So we're going to have to skip down here. I can't really go into all that I wanted to because, well, my channel isn't big enough to be long enough or do live streams or do all those other cool things. But if you watch the video all the way to the end, if you like it, add a like, a subscribe would be amazing. But I'd love to grow the channel so that way I can have more engagement with you guys. But this is basically a breakdown of some of the cases, and there's only one box that ticks every single one of these ones right here. Alleged unregistered sale of securities. Ripple, yes. All the others, well, got 3 yeses and 1 no. But Ripple is the only one that ticks all 3 of these boxes. Alleged unregistered sale of a security based on sale of digital assets and outside the ICO context. Ripple is the only one. All these other cases have nothing like Ripple. Imagine that. It's a court case that stands on its own merits. Not all court cases are the same. And that goes with everything. One person gets a speeding ticket, another person gets a speeding ticket. The circumstances are still completely different. Even though they both got a speeding ticket, they're both speeding tickets, but they're completely different circumstances. So each case is different. There is a little bit down here under Jeremy Hogan and what he predicts. He says that the fair notice will stand. I would have really loved to have gone into it more, but I'm a newbie here. My channel is tiny itty bitty, so I'm not allowed to do all those cool things. I rely on you guys to help get me to that point, but we'll get there. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.